Welcome to Divine Hand for another soulful, insightful, spiritual message. Take what resonate, leave what doesn't. Collective. I pre-post some cards for our convenience. With that being said, let's get started. Okay, so the first oracle card I pulled was what ended made room for who I am becoming. So what that is basically saying to me is that this is a period of transition for you guys. Okay, your growth. This is stepping into a new phase, right? It also suggests that the past situations, relationships, or cycles have ended or concluded. Okay, and it made room for your spiritual and personal evolution. Okay, so this is related to like releasing, right? Self-realization and the opportunity to embrace your what's emerging from you now. Okay, so the tarot card I pulled with that was the Page of Swords. Okay, and so the Page of Swords directly speaks to your mental clarity. Okay, and curiosity. Okay, so you're learning to observe and process new ideas about your life and yourself. Okay, this is also like a new perspective. You're thinking more clearly, you're questioning old patterns and exploring new opportunities or new possibilities. Okay, so this is like saying, this is also like your communication and your clarity. Okay, so this is encouraging you to explore yourself honestly and step out to learn. Stay open to learn from your experiences. Okay, is what I'm getting, right? So the next card read, stop chasing potential, love the reality before you now. Okay, so what I'm getting from that is like, this is about like ending wishful thinking, okay, and honoring what's actually existing, right? Not what if a person can change. We're not in the energy of what if. Okay, it is or it ain't. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, and so that's where we want to be, collective. If you're not, confirmation on that, thank you, right? That's where you want to be if you're not. Okay, this is about like, being grounded. Okay, and your self-respect. Okay, and so now we have the Nine of Wands upright. We pulled with that, right? And then this is just a very beautiful, powerful message together. Okay, and this is like, you are emotionally exhausted, right? You already invested a lot of energy. Okay, you're tired, right? Someone is tired from repeating, trying, hoping, or waiting for potential to become real. Okay, this is like setting those boundaries and protecting yourself. Okay, so this is asking you not to overextend yourself for something that requires you to hold on just a little bit longer, right? This is like you now seeing patterns clearly, like the reality is in front of you, and it's not failure, it's information. Okay, is what this is saying. Okay, so together it's just saying that you're not weak for being tired. You're awakening. Okay, chasing potential has worn you down. Okay, the Nine of Wands, it just urges you to, honor your limits and choose the love that doesn't require consistent defense or endurance. Okay, is what I'm getting for that. So the next card reads, you are learning to love yourself the way you always deserved. Okay, and so this is basically saying that, you grounded your self-worth, right? And it's being built through consistent choices, right? Not just a sudden breakthrough. Okay, and you're just, not waiting on people to love you the way you should love yourself. Okay, and so that's what I'm getting with that, right? And so the tarot we pull for that is the Knight of Pentacles upright, right? And so this is just aligned so beautifully. Okay, is what I'm getting, what I'm seeing here. Okay, this is like steady self-commitment. Okay, you're showing up for yourself day by day, collective. Okay, and this represents devotion, patience, and following through. Okay, this is proof that self-love is becoming a habit and not just an idea, right? And it's at a healthy pace is what I'm getting, right? You're rewriting your self-worth through actions. Okay, trust the process even if results feel slow. Okay, so this is just confirming you're on the right path. Okay, and you're building something that's going to last. Okay, so you're learning that real self-love is consistent, okay, grounded and dependable. Okay, just as the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so let's move on. The last one says, when I looked at this last one, I started laughing. It popped out my deck. Okay, it says money isn't the root of all evil. People are. Okay, so spirit got jokes, right? Okay, so and I totally agree with that. Okay, so like money isn't the root of all evil, right? This just highlights the energy, the intention, and the integrity, right? This is determined whether the resources are going to be used to heal someone or harm someone. Okay, so money is itself is just neutral, right? I don't know where they came up with that saying, but that is so wrong. Like, yeah. It reflects the value of the person holding it. Okay, so the card I pulled with that was the Six of Pentacles upright, and so this is just a very clear message, right? And it's saying that fair give and take, or giving and receiving. Okay, it shows money used with a conscious. Okay, um this is generosity, right? A balance, okay, rather than control or greed. Okay, so this is more like a power dynamic revealed. Okay, so the Six of Pentacles, it's just reminding us that money can either uplift or dominate. Okay, depending on the character of the person, distributing it, the person that's giving it. Okay, the person's character is what I got out of that, right? The person's character, right? And character means everything, right? And I'm going sidetracking, right? But that is that root of that evil, the person's character who is giving the money. Okay, so it's not the money per se, it's, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know where people got that saying from, but that saying is all wrong. Okay, so now we have the Knight of Cups that is going with this message. Okay, and so the Knight of Cups is just a sincere intentions, right? This is who we are looking for. Someone in this energy. Okay, an emotional offer may be coming your way. Side note. Okay, so this is like pure motives, right? This is also just saying like this is good intentions. Excuse me. This is good intentions, right? A heartfelt giving, right? Is what this is, right? And you guys may be in this energy. It could be a Pisces, right? Like you have good intentions when it comes to people, right? Because I know I am. I have good intentions. I never give to get. I give because I'm just that way. But at the end of the day, you have to balance that out, right, for yourself, right? Then we have the Four of Cups, right? And so this is like people who dismiss or misuse or undervalue what's offered to them. Okay, and so we're trying to stay away from those type of people. Okay, those users, those abusers, those manipulators. Okay, and it doesn't have to just be your money, right? Because this card represents emotion, right? So you pouring yourself into a person, right? Who may misuse you in some way or undervalue you in some way or just dismiss your emotions as if they don't matter. No, we're closing the cycle on that, right? By giving ourselves that self-love that we deserve, right? We loving ourselves the way we deserve, as these cards are saying, right? We're not chasing that potential. It's either this person is or it ain't. It is what it is, right? And so we're making room, right? By ending these things, we're making room. And that's what I'm getting with this message. Thanks for listening. Like, we got the death card at the end of the deck, So yeah, we're bringing that to the end. It's the death of it.